Chapter 162. Humility. When Olad heard these words from one of the 10, his mood immediately changed, and he said, "O brothers, if this is the case, I am perfectly willing to act according to your will. But I will only ask you for one thing, which consists of the following. If the work of the opening of the temple is completed, then let me go in peace, and above all, do not appoint me to become a kind of priest of the temple, because in such a position I would necessarily enjoy a certain preferred reputation before other people, and would have a certain prestige and supremacy attached to me. In the course of 40 years as co-governing councillor, I have become so very tired of being more in front of the other brothers that I now incomparably rather prefer to be the very least person than being in any position of prestige or supremacy. It is truly a miserable pleasure to be a master of the brothers, and then finding delight if the poor brethren tremble before their commanding brother, who rarely commands to the benefit of the brothers, but often more so for his own benefit and to promote his reputation. As I said, I do not want to hear or see no more of any whatsoever leadership position, for I now have been overcome by a sickening disgust for any human laureateship, and I am greatly looking forward to be the very last somewhere. Therefore, sublime brothers, in the name of the Lord, hear this my request, and let me, as I have formerly already indicated, after the opening of the temple, go in peace. And one of the 10 said, "Behold, Olad, the flames around the temple have extinguished, and we go to the door and open it. Inside the temple, you'll anyhow hear the Lord's will, and this will, without the interference of our addition, most clearly let you know what you have to do, whether to stay or to leave. But if you want to be truly pleasing, humble to God, you must be like that according to the will of God, but never by your own discretion. For if you are humble by your own intent, then your humility is a child of your self-love, and therefore useless and of no value before God. Because behind such humility always lurks a meritorious translucent complacency, a self-praise, and in the end, a disguised arrogance. But if you say to all and at all times from the depth of your life, O Lord and Father, your only holy will be done now as forever, then you are truly humble before God, and your humility is valuable before the Lord. Whoever humbles himself according to his own will, but ignores the will of God, is basically doing nothing more than the one who arbitrarily sets himself up as the ruler of the people. Only the one who takes his own will captive and instead makes the purely divine will prevail in him is pleasing to God, and his humility is righteous before the Lord. It is better to be a scoundrel by the will of the Lord than a hero behind the Lord's back. It is better to always be conscious about one's own nothingness and worthlessness than be convinced of one's blamelessness. Thus it is also better to be a sinner of one's own repentant fault than to be a self-made, righteous man. For the Lord seeks only what has been lost, strengthens the weak, and cures the disease out of his mercy. But he will never be anyone's debtor. Take note of these things in advance, until the Lord in the temple will provide you with more details. But follow us now to the gate. Amen.